All right, good morning, everybody. Welcome back to Trenton's Tech. And today we're doing a video quality camera test of the Z Fold 5 and I guess it's like natural environment and whatnot. So all of the shots that you're going to see are going to be at 30 frames per second. And right now I am recording in 4K 30 on the front facing camera. I am doing this handheld, and the audio is coming straight out of the Z Fold 5. So let me know what you guys think down in the comment section below about the stabilization, how it looks and everything. So the other thing we're going to do here is to the front camera. So right now this is the main sensor on the Z Fold 5. As you can see, sunrise is coming up, and honestly, we can do a little quick focus test. So right now we're looking in the distance. If we look at my hand, it focuses right onto my hand, and then it easily switches back into the distance. So we do have a stop sign right here. Let's go ahead and zoom in. So this is the 3x zoom, and that on the telephoto. This is the main lens, and this is the wide angle lens. So as you guys can see, all of this is in auto, no manual settings. Just wanted to show you guys how everything looks. And right now I'm just walking. So what we can do now is we can do a quick stabilization / jogging test. So all right, so that is with the main lens. Doesn't seem too bad. And if we switch back to the wide angle lens, everything still seems pretty stable. So let's go ahead and try one more jogging test. All right, that's it for that jogging test. As I sit here and try and catch my breath, let's switch back. And pretty much if you're recording in 4K 30, as you guys can see, you can switch between all of the lenses. So wide, normal, telephoto. And if we look back at me, you have this angle. So in a second, I'm going to turn a corner, do another jogging / stabilization test. Who knows? Maybe I might lose some weight. All right. Whew, I was not expecting that this early in the morning. Okay, that's kind of cool how it does auto expose pretty easily between the background when it changes. And we are going to start jogging in 3, 2, 1. All right. So that's that jogging test. How's it look? I mean, pretty much when I was at the Kazrin the other day and I was recording my son in 8K 30, it was pretty stable. So that will lead me to believe if it's that stable at 8K 30, it should be pretty stable at 4K 30. So woo. But yeah, this is me just holding the phone out and just recording. All right, so the next test we're gonna do is with the portrait video. So what this is supposed to do is focus on you and blur the background. So you actually can record in 4K and you can record in 1080p. So those are the two options that you have available. Sounds like there's some construction going on in the background, so we're gonna go the other way. And like I said, so let me know how you guys think, how it looks. This is in the vertical portrait orientation, and I'm about to switch to the landscape orientation. All right, so now this is the landscape orientation. Still doing the portrait video in 4K. Just doing a regular morning slight walk, nothing too crazy. Still handheld. Let me know what you guys think down in the comment section below. And we are gonna go ahead and switch to the main cameras, or basically the cameras that are on the back. All right, so here is portrait video on the back, and let's use this as a reference. So right now I'm looking at my Apple Watch, and you can see the background is blurred. I don't know how well it's blurred or how good it's handling it, because I'm just looking at the cover screen. Here's a branch right here. Does it work if you have like a small branch or something like that? Maybe. So once again, here's where I have a subject in the frame and how it's handling the portrait video. I'm not going to try and run with portrait video on. I think that'd be kind of silly, but that would be kind of interesting to test as well. All right, now we are in portrait video mode in landscape. Just showing you guys once again how my Apple Watch looks. I know sometimes I kind of catch it in the comment section, like, why do you use an Apple Watch if you have a Samsung phone? I carry two phones, so I carry an iPhone that I use Apple Pay in my watch with, and I carry the Z Fold because I like using the Z Fold and having a foldable. So once again, let's go back up and let's see how the blurriness or portrait video is working. And I'm pretty much up on this branch in the foliage here, so that isn't too bad. But so far, everything looks cool. Now, one of the other features that you have on here that I think is pretty cool, and it's been on some of the Samsung phones for a while, depending on which one you get, is the director's view. So essentially what you can do is you can see yourself and you can record the background at the same time. I still believe that this is in 4K 30. It should just reflect whatever is going on. If not, it's probably set to 1080p 30 by default. So as you guys can see, here's the park, there's the skyline, and it's on me at the same time. So this may help if, let's say, you're recording a party or an event and you still want to be in the video and you constantly don't want to keep turning it around back and forth, back and forth. So there's that director's view there. I'm actually going to mess around with it a little bit more, but like I said, this is just my initial test. Everything's in auto, not really messing with too much. And once again, here's a test of the director's view in portrait. You guys just saw the landscape, so this is how things are going to look. Maybe this might help you out if you do TikToks or other videos online. I honestly think this is a pretty cool feature. And yep, everything's in auto, everything's doing on its own. So the other thing you can do is you can either select to have both videos stitched together like you're seeing right now, or you can hit an option to split the videos apart into two separate clips. It's something that you really won't hear too much about because for whatever reason we just focus on sensors and a whole bunch of other stuff, but we never really actually dig into the features. So that's something that's pretty cool and might even come out in a dedicated video. All right, so the other thing that we can kind of mess around with a little bit is the Pro Video mode. So I know a lot of people talk about Apple and Google and who has the best camera and stuff like that. To me, part of having a good camera is having the ability to take control when you want to. So this may not apply to you if you're somebody that just pulls out the phone and hit record, but you do have a pro mode on the Z Fold 5, which is basically manual controls and stuff like that. So let's go ahead and play around with some of these. So what I can do is, let's say I don't want the ISO in auto. Let's say if I want to make it a manual ISO, as I turn it up, the brightness should turn up as well. Now, even though the ISO is all the way up, the shutter speed is still in auto, so that's why it's like super cranked up really high. Generally you want your ISO all the way down, so I'm setting it to 50. Before it was set to something different, and now the shutter speed has adjusted, so I want to take that shutter speed and I want to double my shutter speed because I'm recording in 30 frames per second. So let's go to 1/60. And so now when I lock in these settings, it's not going to change. If I want to keep like this same type of exposure, then I can keep it that way. Even if I move the camera away, it's not going to auto adjust because I'm trying to keep this from changing, and I want to have that same frame rate and that same ISO. The other thing I can do is I can change where it's going to focus. So right now the focus is in the center. I can switch it to a multi-focus to where it can focus on my hand and other things, or I can even come down and I can manually focus. And when I manually focus, there's focus peaking on here. So right now this is in focus, and if I leave this camera right here, the focus isn't going to change. If somebody runs in the background, the focus isn't going to change. If I want to, let's say, rack focus to that swing set back there, I can go ahead and switch that focus out. Let me go the other way, and now the swing set is in focus. So if we come back here, I'm focusing far away, back to the swing set, back to this tiki torch, back to the swing set. And it's just something you can do with these controls that I always found pretty fun and pretty cool. Something I really can't do on my iPhone unless I use like an extra feature or something like that. And essentially what you can do is you can lock that in and just keep on recording and be good to go. Now you can also do this in 4K 60, 1080p. You can even do this in 8K, I believe, but obviously you just don't have the zooming in and zooming out. So that's pretty much it for that. All right, now I'm using the cover screen mode, where essentially I'm using the main camera and I'm looking at the cover screen as a viewfinder. And honestly, the more I use it, the more kind of cool it is. I just don't like walking around with holding the phone like this because I get like kind of nervous that I'm gonna drop it and it's gonna mess up the inner display or something like that. But this is still something cool that you can use to, like, if you put it in a stand or something like that, you can see yourself way better. You can really see yourself like in other orientations. It makes life a little bit easier. Makes it easier to look at the camera and not always be looking off into space or something like that. But with that last clip that I did, I forgot to turn the Pro mode into 4K. So what you guys saw was like 1080p 30, but it still looked pretty nice in my opinion. So still back here, my little tiki torch and everything, and everything's in auto. So if I spin around, everything should naturally adjust, and this, that, and whatever. So you may be asking guys, or asking yourself, why didn't you do this in 4K 60? Why didn't you try out 4K 24? Well, the thing that I see a lot, and I'm not like trying to, blame people for this. It's just something that I think it doesn't exactly show it correctly. If you record something in 4K 60 and then you upload a video in 4K 24, then everything looks choppy, with the settings and the shutter speed and all that stuff. Everything looks choppy. What I'm doing is I'm uploading this video in 4K 30 because I shot everything at 30 frames per second. That way, you guys, whatever shutter speed it chooses, however it looks in real life, however it looks on my end, is represented the same way on YouTube or wherever I upload this. It would be nice to be able to include 4K 24, 4K 30, 4K 60 all in one video, but it's not going to work out. So what I probably would have to do is just do multiple videos of each one. So one at 4K 24, one at 4K 30, and then one at 4K 60. That way it all looks the way it's supposed to. So like I said, just, minor gripe, nothing too crazy, but it kind of just, it sends my brain into overdrive when somebody says, hey, here's the 4K 60 test. And then I go look in YouTube and the video's uploaded in 4K 24. Does not help it at all. So that's pretty much it for this camera test. Let me know what you guys think. Thank you guys for everyone who's recently subscribed to the channel. It's been great. It's been some pretty good growth, and pretty soon I'll have some more videos coming out about the Z Fold 5. So, all right, y'all, take it easy. See you next video. Peace.